Hello everyone, this is Yoda from Team Evil Geniuses, bringing you this video with Nerdstomper.com. This is going to be the first video in a two-part series on Magmus, and it's going to cover the early game, commented play. The next video is going to cover the mid to late game, and on the forums is some general information on Magmus, like what items I think you should get, skill build, what I think you should generally be doing, so be sure to check that out. Also, the forums is a great place for discussion of any HON topic that you have, that you have any questions about, so that's a good place to go. I frequent the forums, as does our other contributor, Beat is. And also, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them there as well. So on to the video. Playing a roaming role this game with Magmus. Magmus is one of the best gankers in the game. So by ganker, I mean basically he's not getting gold in the super early game. Like he buys wards at the beginning, and also buys something before the 6-minute mark, but after that you don't really contribute to wards, you're mostly trying to get your portal key. So also you're spending a lot of your time ganking, so let's see how this game plays out. Right now just at the beginning, or the rune just spawned, so our middle is going to pick it up, and I'm going to plant my wards. Right now I'm staying more between middle and bottom, since those are the easiest two lanes to gank. Top is a Soul Devourer. I can gank that if there's only one hero there, but if there's two guys there, it's going to be a little iffy, so I'm going to stay between mid and bottom for now. I'm going to put my ward here. They have a Legionnaire, so I want to put my ward so it gives optimal jungle vision, so this one's pretty good. And obviously I have to block the pull, or they will pull, so there's that. The first thing I wanted to do was kill bottom, since he's going to be alone because they have a Legionnaire. It's going to be a 3v1 situation. Unfortunately, he's playing really far back, so it's not looking good for our gank. So after I decide that, we just figure that they're going to push this lane back, and I'm going to go find their Legionnaire in the jungle. Against jungle heroes, particularly Legionnaire, jungle heroes without summons have a hard time dealing with anyone bothering them. So I'm going to try to find Legionnaire and see if I can do anything funky to him. Generally Legionnaires start at the small camp at 1 minute, so that's where I'm going to be looking for. He is stacking it, so let's see what happens. Now, since I see him doing this camp, he's kind of ignoring me and just doing the camp. So what I can do about that is just going to try to steal the small creeps when he spins one more time. Obviously I can't kill him since he's pretty close to an enemy hero, and my ally's really far since he's on the other side of the river. So I'm just going to try to steal some creeps, just bother him a little bit. This is like really good. The reason I'm not hitting him is because I'm not going to kill him, and the harassment's not really going to do much since he has all this regen, and therefore it's much more important to be just stealing the creeps, so that's why I did that. And he's not going to kill me either, obviously, since it's level 1, he doesn't have any stuns or slows, all he has is the spin. Not really scared. So I take the creeps and run, basically. Since it's pretty clear no one's gonna die, I'm just gonna follow him around, wait for my clarity or a mana potion to give me full mana, and just try to make sure he doesn't get any good farm in the jungle. I actually do run into him here, since I guess he's wised up to my ganks, so he's kind of sitting on me, not letting me gank. Well, that's okay. I am perfectly happy not getting early farm with Magmus if Legionnaire is also getting crippled early. Yeah, it's perfectly fine with me. Unfortunately, I missed the stun on Defiler. So one thing you need to keep in mind is Magmus' level 1 stun is really low range. So you need to get super close to them before you do it. Let's watch if I could have done it better here. So I run at Defiler, and he was moving forward, but he stopped, which is why my stun was just short. Like if he had kept moving, then I would have hit him, but he for some reason just moved forward and then stopped moving. Obviously I should have tried to get a little bit closer before stunning, so I didn't miss. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, not much there other than just get closer before you stun. It's a pretty big mistake. So after making a mistake like that, I'm just going to make sure I don't lose my mana potion, because it's really important now since I'm out of mana and no mana potions. And see what's going on bottom. Bottom looks like it's starting to push, so hopefully if it goes up a little more, we'll be able to kill the Flint Beastwood. Notice how I'm still like super low level. That's a-okay with ganker roamer like Magmus. You don't really care too much about your level early game. It's important that you get like higher levels in the later stages of the game, but early on it's not too important. So hopefully this sniper shows up so we can get a good gank on him. As it is, he's checking over here for me, so I had some information on where I was. I actually run into him in the woods here. So as soon as I see this, I ping my allies, telling them that these are here. I think my allies were a little bit slow to respond here, since obviously I'm battling here and they're just running back, hitting creeps and stuff. So I just started running towards them. Unfortunately, they were so late that if I stun in, I'm just gonna die. So I just have to escape here. Can't really do anything. So a couple errors there. First one was by my team. They did not respond quickly enough to me running to enemies here. And second one was I used my stun when I didn't have to, since the sniper got hit by Pitfall. And the third one was I used my flask and then got hit by creeps, so make sure you don't make errors like that. Right now our Plague Rider actually has a lot of regen that she's not using, so I decided to just take them. I didn't need all the regen, I needed the mana potion, so I asked her for the mana potion instead of all the regen. Not much to that. Be sure to, if your supports don't really need all their regen, be sure to ask for it if you're in need. If I had to go to the fountain and run back, I would have been severely crippled. I wouldn't really be able to gank too well. So now that I have a mana potion, I'm good for another stun, so I'm probably going to go for another pass middle. Lane, when you're going for gank, it's important to check for the lane. So the lane is pushing, or was pushing, until he waved it. Unfortunately, I'd run into Legionnaire again in the woods. So, since he ran off, I'm just going to sit here and taunt him. Again, this is okay. I'm a-okay with not doing anything as long as Legionnaire's not doing anything. So I'm just gonna go bother him. He's gonna bother me. I actually have a flask here, so I'm okay tanking a lot of damage. As long as I don't die. That's why I don't mind like randomly getting auto attacked by him, just to get some good positioning. A rune spawns bottom. So as the ganker, it's also your responsibility to make sure your middle is getting the runes, which is why I'm kind of sitting here between Legionnaire and Defiler and the Haste rune. And he does need to fill his bottle up, so I'm going to wait for him to pick up the rune before I do anything. Other than bother Legionnaire, of course. So now that he's got the haste, hopefully we can actually pull something off middle. Alright, so here, notice how Defiler was running forward and Legionnaire was running backwards, so I wait for them to be close to each other before I stun. That way we can hit two people with the stun. And then, obviously that turns into an easy kill. One strength of Magmus is that he's really hard to kill if you have allies around. Obviously if you just Steam Bath when like it's just you and them, they'll just wait and then use an area of effect skill on you. But when your team's actually nearby, Steam Bath is a really good tool to escape. So that's what I use here. And then I believe we pick up a double kill. Okay, he doesn't pick up a double kill, but since I used my flask, I was able to get enough HP to survive the nuke from Pyromancer and hit Defiler. Fortunately, I do die since their Flint also is wised up and come. The only unfortunate thing here is that our bottom lane is not really paying attention here. When there's a fight going on in the woods, generally at least the supports from the lane should come to help, and they're not doing that. One thing I did do here is, since our Luna was not aware of what was happening over here, so since I was just in the area, I told it to him on voice chat. I said, hey, you can run to the right. The only person there is a Flint Beastwood, and he just used his slow to kill me, so you'll be safe. So I told him that, and now he's able to run right and just get out of there. If he had run the other way, obviously he would have run into like their whole team, so it's a good thing he came to this. Although I did die there, it was not that bad of a trade since their 2 people that were top had to TP, which leaves our Devourer free farm. So as long as we got a decent trade, I think we traded 2 for 1. I think we got 2 kills, I died, and their 2 people teleported, so it was definitely a good trade. So since I am a rumor, I also upgraded the courier. Like I said, you have to get wards at the beginning and buy something before the 6-minute mark. So I got wards and I upgraded the courier. So I'm basically good on support items for the rest of the game. Gotta finish my own items from now on. The rest of the stuff will be the responsibility of Plague Rider. So here there's a little bit of miscommunication. Obviously I didn't think I would be able to get to Defiler in time if I just ran straight in. But the Aluna, that's what they wanted me to do. So he went into stun before I got there. So that's why we're missing this kill. Obviously I wanted to go around, which is why I was running that way. And he just didn't notice, so that's unfortunate. Now we're just waiting for the 6-minute run. I was not aware that Legionnaire was actually in our jungle, since I was bothering so much. So that's why I'm standing here to cut Defiler off from the top rune, and so Aluna can cut her off from the bottom rune. That way, Aluna's going to get the rune no matter what, and he has the empty bottle, so it's important for him to get the rune. So what I should have done is just sit right on top of this invisible rune. Instead, what I was doing was trying to cut the Aluna off. So since I wasn't sitting on top of it, Legionnaire was able to get it from our jungle. Obviously, none of us thought that he was going to be in our jungle, so that's why he's able to pick up the rune. It was a really big surprise to both myself and Aluna, and we both exclaimed about it on Ventrilo, or on voice chat. So, since he picked up an invisible, I decided not to go for middle anymore since they have kind of wised up to our tactics, and I'm just going to run around near top. Obviously the lane is a bit pushed, and also there's a Legionnaire invisible, which I didn't know where he was, so I'm not going to do anything funky. Let's just check where he actually was. After taking the invis, obviously he just ran to farm, but I didn't know that, so that's why I'm running around their woods. As it is, they have a ward, so that's why they wised up and ran back. After seeing this double stack, I decided I'm just going to stack it, or I'm just going to pull it, so because there's nothing else for me to do. I didn't really want to go middle since I didn't know where the invisible Legionnaire was, and top was kind of pushed, so since there's nowhere to gank, I am going to pull. Pulling, it's important that you make sure it's stacked before you pull, since if the creeps aren't stacked and you pull them, then that'll basically cause the lane to push, because their creeps will get hit by the tower and your creeps are going to survive. So you get 2 waves pushing, that's no good. You want the camp to be stacked so the camp actually kills your creep wave. That's the best thing to do. It's important, also kind of important that you time the last hit here, I guess it's not that important, not any more important than timing any normal creep hits. So after pulling, hopefully this lane's gonna push and we can pull off and gank. That's what I was thinking. Unfortunately, obviously they have a ward here, so I can't really gank him. I'm gonna try to pull the Minotaurs again, which was successful. And now, hopefully I'll be able to get at least a Minotaur in gold. After this pull, I'm going to go for a gank though, since I've spent a lot of time not ganking. Hopefully the Defiler is loosened up a bit, and he's going to play a little further up so I can actually get a kill on him. That'll be done after these Minotaurs die. Well, not much to it. Notice how I'm hitting the Minotaur, and not just sitting there to time it. It's important that you don't waste time just waiting there for your creeps to finish it. If you hit the Minotaur, it's going to die faster, and all you really have to do is time the last hit, not so you can hit it as many times as you want, as long as they're not interfering with the last one. So oftentimes you'll hit it to 100 and then wait for the last hit, instead of just waiting just in general for the last hit. Anyway, going around middle now. I'm going to check top run on my way, and since it's not top, we don't know where it is. We don't have wards at the moment. Plague's kind of not doing the job. I actually run into 2 heroes here, so after running into them, I just stun away, since I don't want to die. That would be really bad. And it's a good thing I did, because Defiler just missed her wave. So, I guess that wasn't really a successful gank, because they were waiting here. It would have been better if our Plague had better wards up. Unfortunately, it's just not the case, so I have to deal with it and go to the fountain. After I go to the fountain, I'm going to go for another gank. Haven't ganked in a while, and hopefully they are not expecting a Magmus. After seeing that top, so this word top has clued us into a gank going bottom. I'm not going to make it in time if I walk, so that's why I bought a TP here, and hopefully I'll be able to get there and do something important. Our plague was definitely kind of too slow on this. She saw people on the side here. Definitely could have TP. Definitely could have walked out. Unfortunately, she didn't. So after waiting for my HP to heal a bit, I will teleport in, see what I can do. So here, notice how I'm running to the left instead of running right at my target. I want to get a double stun off if possible, so I'm going to try to line up Glacius and Snipe and Flint Beastwood with the stun, not just hit Flint. So that's why I ran off to the side. So after lighting them up, I stun them, and hopefully that's a kill. I use Steam Bath immediately afterward because I don't want to get focused after stunning in. Obviously Pyro stuns me out of it, but that's okay because as long as I don't get focused, it's fine. So Pyro is the one that's out of position right now, so we are going to follow her. Notice again, this was not really set up by me, I just waited for them. It just happened that they were clumped up when my stun popped up, but generally you're going to want to try to hit multiple heroes with your stun in every fight. They just made it really easy for me. This should turn into a lot of kills for us, I hope. Obviously this would have been a little better if our Gladiator had hit both of those with the stun, with his Pitfall, but it doesn't really matter. And now this Glacius doesn't have boots, so he's going to be an easy pickoff. Just going to follow him around and attack him, hopefully to death. And Glacius goes down. So that, after this, since I have pretty close to upgraded marchers, I'm going to get upgraded marchers. Other items are obviously important, and generally you want to buy them before upgrading your marchers. It's just that at the moment I had enough gold to upgrade my marchers, and upgraded marchers are a much bigger jump in your power level than like Bottle or Chalice. So that's why I'm upgrading them before getting any other items. It just so happens that I have this much gold after a fight. So I'm just gonna... Enhanced marchers are gonna be the ones you want on Magmus, so I asked my team to allow me to get some CS, and since I got 2 of them, I now have 1,000 gold, and that is enough gold for enhanced marchers. So I'm gonna go back to base and buy them, and I'm gonna just do action clips from now on and not basically cast the whole game. So I'm gonna fast forward until the next one. Okay, so here's the next action clip. After getting my enhanced marchers, I just ran down middle because it's the closest way to get to the action. And then I noticed that there was action bottom, so I started running there. Our Plague actually gets caught really out of position again, even though we have a ward here, it's just kind of embarrassing. So she dies quickly. However, our Gladiator is still around, so he's going to try to land his combo. And I'm going to see what I can do to help him, so let's see what happens. He leads Pitfall, and since he hit Flint Beastwood with the Pitfall and his ultimate is on its way, what I'm going to do is stun Flint Beastwood to follow up on the Pitfall, and Flint Beastwood will still be in position for Gladiator ultimate to hit, so let's see, watch that happen. So I stunned Flint Beastwood so he couldn't run out of the AoE of that, and then he got finished off. And then after that, I backed off because I didn't want to get focused by the people coming in, and then I'm going to go back in to get in position for a stun. So the reason I'm not ulting here is obviously since I'm never going to get it off. Like if I just walk up to someone and ult, they'll either stun me or just run away, which is why I'm waiting for my stun, which is going to be a much more useful spell. One thing I do while my stun is on cooldown is I let my allies know. I say my stun's cooldown is 8, 7, 6, 5, like I say that on voice chat. That way they know what to expect from me. Here, we actually get into a bit of a scuffle, I think. Oh no, people are backing off. Yeah, so we run into a Pyromancer here. So I start getting closer. So right now, in this situation, obviously I have no stun, so my plan is just to right-click Pyro to death since I have enhanced marchers. So I let my ally know that. I say, hey, Luna, I do not have any mana for stun. I'm just going to right-click Pyro throughout this fight. So I say that so he knows what to expect from me. And then he misses a kill on Glacius, unfortunately. But my right-clicks on Pyro have done their work. And Pyro actually goes down. Probably could have gone for this Glacius here. Unfortunately there was a Flint Beastwood that came back and ultimated me, so I died. But that was not a bad trade. I traded myself for a Pyromancer, and potentially more if our Luna had, I guess, just done a little bit better, like Glacius lived with one hit. So that was okay. Right now I'm going to buy a bottle, since I need a bottle to be properly roaming. Like right now I don't have enough HP or mana to sustain roaming. Like I run out of HP and mana during a fight, as you saw in the last one. And bottle's just a really good item on Magmus because it's easy for you to stop getting focused. Like press bottle and then press Steam Bath, and you're probably going to get full value out of the bottle. And also you're popping in and out of the fight often with your enhanced marchers and your lava surge. So bottle is really good on Magmus. I would generally get it pretty much just every single game. Obviously after seeing this action I'm going to start heading towards it. Instead of going this way through the rest of my team, I ran around. The reason is, if you go the same angle as the rest of your team, oftentimes if you're able to hit a stun, they'll be able to hit a stun too. So you want to hit at an angle that will allow you to hit stuns that they won't be able to hit. So that's why I'm going around. And there's a flint here, so I alert my team that there's a flint beastwood that likely will be out of position. Unfortunately, he doesn't run out of position, so I can't get him. Watch again. Notice how I'm running around again. Don't want to get focused with the rest of these people. And I'm still going to be there in time to hit a stun. Obviously they didn't need me to get these 2 kills, but if their allies had come to back them up, then it would have been much better that I was off to the side instead of right next to my allies, because that way I would be able to stun the other people coming in instead of the 2 people who are already dead. So there's 2 people here. Unfortunately I wasted my stun on 2 dead heroes, so don't do that. Obviously the only one is your stun on people who are going to be stunned. So now tell my team I'm waiting for my stun cooldown. It's 3 seconds. I'll say that in voice chat. And then when it's up, I go for the stun on whoever's available, which happens to be Flint Beastwood here. And he goes down. So there, notice I comboed my stun with my ultimate. You generally are only going to be able to do that if they're alone. This Flint Beastwood is obviously alone, which is why I was able to do it. But you don't want to do that too often if the enemies are like clumped together. You only want to do that if they're alone. So that's it for that. Not much action going to happen now. I'm going to wait for the rune here. And it is a rune, so I get to bottle it. I could have saved it for our Luna, but I have a bottle too, and there's nothing wrong with bottling a rune if you're a roamer. So one thing that you do need to be careful about though is having too many bottles on the team. So I have a bottle, and our Devourer has a bottle, but our Devourer is not really getting runes. So basically we have 2 bottles getting the runes. So that's not too many bottles, so we're okay there. Right now I'm just looking to get someone bottom at their tower since we have a gladiator nearby. Since it didn't happen, I'm going to go back towards middle. With this double damage I should be able to get a pretty effective gank on. One other thing to note is that, notice how in the early game I was not spending my time too efficiently in terms of experience. I was like bothering Legionnaire or between middle, not sitting in lane. But now since I've been like in all the fights and like pretty much been there for every kill, I'm like tied for the 2nd highest level on our team. So levels earlier are not important, but as long as you're in every fight and you're surviving, the levels will come. You don't have to just sit there and try to get them. The levels will come to you as long as you're in all the fights and not dying immediately. So here we're just waiting for someone to come there, and since Defiler popped up, hopefully we'll be able to get a kill. I think we actually only got this kill because of my double damage. Don't be afraid to take kills like that. Obviously the kill on Pyro was probably going to happen anyway, whether or not I attacked him, but I need to work on my portal key, so I'm not too scared to take kills. Also, that killed him a little faster in case someone was in this area. And the next target is Glacius. Unfortunately, there was a Legionnaire there that was able to pick me off. Like I said, if I had not attacked that Pyromancer, it's possible that Legionnaire would have taunted Devourer, so just be sure to try to kill them as soon as possible, as long as you're not wasting resources. Like, an attack is not a waste of resource. If I'd used like a nuke to get that kill, that would have been bad, but just attacking and taking the kill is fine. Unfortunately, this Legionnaire finishes me off. since he was in a good position. But no one else dies. This is not a bad trade, 2 for 1. And I'm not going to watch myself dead. And move on to the next clip. Alright, so here's the next action clip. After going for a gank bottom, their Flint actually initiates on our Plague Rider. So I stun ultimate him. Unfortunately, our Plague Rider was... I was kind of counting on our Plague Rider to hit a nuke after I forced Flint to run away. Fortunately, she just ran away and didn't do anything. So this Flint Beastwood does not die. I see that our Gladiator is hitting a pitfall, so I tried to go back in to try to help or something. Try to go for another stun. Unfortunately, the Legionnaire teleported, and this guy's really got my number. Now he taunts me near a tower, and I die. So obviously that fight I could have gone better. A couple things. First of all, Plague Rider should have followed up when I ultimated Flint. Second of all, I shouldn't have run back into someone TPing, since it could have been Legionnaire, and that would have spelled my doom, which it did. Obviously it's not the worst, since I still traded 1 for 1 with their farmer. Yeah, so that was that game. On to the next one. So here's the next action clip. Our Invisible Devourer is finding a Pyromancer in their woods. Since he's the deepest person in their territory, I'm gonna go try to help him in case he gets counter-ganked. So I'm going towards him. He hits Pyromancer. And now our Plague Rider gets to shoot down. So I'm gonna go help towards the fight. Hopefully I'm able to show up on time. Unfortunately I don't. But I am able to finish off the Glacius here. I didn't stun Defiler here since no one would be there to follow up. Generally you want to stun when someone's following up. So I stun Glacius, which not only kills him, it also gets me away from Defiler, which I don't want to be near if I'm not killing him. So our next target is Legionnaire, since he's pretty deep in our territory. He does have a PK though, so he's hard to kill. Since I see him running up this way, I decide to... He has 2 routes that he can run here. Basically, he can run here, or he can run back, juke back through the tower, or he can go the really long way, but I don't think he's going to do that. So here we go. I move to cut him off from his route, his escape route here, since my allies are on the other side. Unfortunately, they don't catch him in here, so he escapes, I believe. Let's see where he is. Just curious. So actually, he just turns around and completely jukes Devourer and escapes, I think. After seeing that, I turn around. Oh no, after seeing that, I ran into a ward. So since he's kind of out of reach already, he like juked Devourer completely and just escaped. I'm just gonna kill their ward, which I noticed was in the area. So with that ward down, I'm pretty close to my portal key, so I'm probably just going to go farm it. Generally, after you hit like 1700 gold, you should just go farm for your portal key. Since mag with portal key is much better than mag without portal key. It's a very big difference. Obviously, it's helping me a lot that I got my 3rd skill, because it helps me get CS or kill creepers quickly and move on to better things to do like ganking or killing neutrals. I was pinging there because I had a feeling Flint would stay, but he didn't. So just gonna go back to neutrals and form the portal key. I'm not gonna make you guys watch me slay neutrals with my spells and my volcanic touch, so I'm gonna call this the end of part 1 since I've finished my portal key. Once again, this is Yoda from Team Evil Geniuses, bringing you this video with Nerdstomper.com. Be sure to check out the forums, because that's a great place to discuss HON, and also for the general guide on Magmus, skill build, item build, all that. And be sure to tune in for part 2. Thanks for watching.